Namaste, Galactic family. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Come on into this dimension. Come on into the room. And I hope that everyone is doing well. It's so good to be here again, talking with you guys. I am going to be doing a cosmic grid update today. As you know, everything grid right now is really within my field of awareness. I just got done doing lesson 5 and 6 on the Gridwork Facilitator course, which we covered, boots on the ground tips and guidelines to actually do on location grid work. And then we also covered remote viewing as well. So yeah, it's like I have grid focus right now. And so we're going to really be bringing this in today to talk over Washington, D.C. We're going to do some charting today, go through all of the symbolism that's running through Washington, D.C., some of the hidden, more secret esoteric things, also what ley lines just specifically are running through the United States as well. We're gonna kind of cover a lot. Just because I have been seeing a lot of immense grid shifts, grid architecture shifts, timeline shifts that are occurring, and it's been really, really immense, like what we're feeling, what we're going through because of this. It's been intense. I know some of you may have been really feeling the major impact of these big changes that are going on. There's been just some ways in which it's manifested is there's been a lot of flipping of perspectives, a lot of flipping of roles, a lot of flipping of positions or power, mirroring effects that have been running through what I can see as the Bay chakras. And the Bay chakras seem to be connected to these pools of water that allow us to go deeper into the memories, into the emotions, into the feeling, and into the reflection part of it. And so it's mirroring from the grid templating, I think, into the Bay chakras. That's what I've been seeing, that this is really something that's happening up underneath the feet. This is happening in between the geomagnetic fields of the core of the earth. And so it's shifting a lot of the planetary root chakra. Essentially, it's twisting, it's applying a lot of a pressure on the planetary root chakra. And because of that, that's causing a lot of, foundational things to shift and crack. I've been seeing a lot of new structuring happening within this 1D, 2D pre-matter fields. But what I feel like I'm ultimately seeing is a separation of worlds that is occurring at a subatomic level. Okay, so a pulling apart of grid templating, a pulling apart of the timelines as well, timeline splits and shifts. And so we're just really witnessing, I think, a lot of subatomic energy fields that have been created between inorganic and organic living light consciousness as well. Those are separating and pulling apart as well. So it can feel like a ripping and a tearing. And it's really important to stay aware of this, because the quality of these energies in us, in these blueprints, is what creates the planetary hologram. This determines the level of the frequency when it materializes, essentially. And so it's really attracting also people together that are matching the frequency of that shared timeline. So it's about being connected to that structure and time and what corresponds in that reality bubble, creating reality bubbles. So I think reality bubbles are splitting and shifting as well, especially when maybe the architecture is getting moved at the base bay level. So when we have a lot of separation that occurs, basically a lot of clarity is being revealed. But then again, a lot of survival wounding is resurfacing. So like I said before, shakeups of the foundation, safety, security, the home, the family, the environment, relationships, people pushing themselves to their limits within themselves, and really pushing them to the brink of bigger realization and evolution of their consciousness. And because of that, there's so much going on within this, right? I've been sensing that it really just may even be due to the flipping of the Earth's magnetic core. We may have gone through a flip through the winter solstice gateway, that the poles may just be more unstable. So they're twisting and turning a lot harder than before. And that there is just a lot of movement within this because of the weakening of the magnetic field. And then that high recent spike in the Schumann resonance that we just had, high solar flares. I mean, it seems like everything's being kind of culminating at one time, the pressure. And I feel that pressure also, I can sense that the reversal portals and stargates are more active during those timeline phases. There's a lot more stress that is being placed on the organic structures and the original angelic DNA gene codes in the body. Okay, so if you're carrying those original angelic gene codes in the body, you're going to be feeling the pressure is going to be more applied to you, more to those who can actually feel energy as if it is a way of living, right? As if it is something one feels like temperature, hot or cold. Energy is so powerful at this time for those that can feel it. It's really sweeping them through rapid transformation. Hence again, why separation on a subatomic level may occur energetically right now at this time. I have noticed in the last 3 weeks that my spirit body just actually feels lighter. It feels like the encasing of my astral body feels lighter. It feels that something has transformed or actually burned off of my soul. Like, like just a weight has been lifted. And I've dropped in spirit weight as well. I'm no longer as heavy as I would be normally feeling. I'm more etheric. I'm more light body. And because of that, my sensitivities have increased immensely over the last 3 weeks. I feel everything more, I'm much more penetratable as well. Hence this giant black tourmaline necklace that I have here, and guarded by the spirits of ayahuasca as well. I've been just holding a lot of protection over me because my energetic structures can just feel everything that's not pure. It is actually causing subtle rips and tears in my astral field. I can feel it ripping when those exchanges of energy come through. Okay, and so anything that's not of the highest purity, I'm talking the subtlest predatorial energy. Okay, I'm talking the subtlest bad intentions. That is all felt really intensely, and that alone is causing rips and tears in the astral field. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's not happening within several waves of the indigo lines as well, and also within the Earth's space-time continuum as well, that we're being exposed more through loopholes that are going into the phantom and the shadow realms, that allow for a lot of infiltration, things like that to happen. And there's a way to really clear and protect ourselves from these things. Again, black tourmaline is one amazing thing you can do. But it's really about the repairing of the light body at this time. I'm really sensing that that is kind of like a manifested symptom from the base chakra recalibration, from the grid templating and the architecture. Okay, the light matrices and the black magic grids that run, the scatter radiation frequency grid templates, also the checkerboard mutation grids, right, is being reformed. We're going through a major reformation. So full body and field recalibrations rapidly. So intense moments of this field recalibration can actually feel like a cooling sensation or a decompression period. You're actually going back and forth between cooling sensations and decompression periods. And then more rapid waves of recalibrations come in. So I sense that we're really just overall, globally, planetarily, according to all grids worldwide globally, that we're receiving new energetic template structures. This is a huge thing. This does happen all the time, though. I mean, throughout different times of the year, we get this type of influx of restructuring. This means that a lot of new starseeds, a lot of empaths and indigos are waking up for the very first time. Right now, as we speak, it's like eyes are opening. New waves of 12-strand DNA activations, new DNA restructuring, glowing or illumined DNA. That's one thing I always get is glowing. I get glowing DNA. My DNA actually activates and then glows within my body. This is all rolling through the grid light fields as the gateways start to transition into the timelines of the Aquarian beginning, right? Because I really do feel that we are just at the beginning phases of our greater evolutionary awakening processes. We are just getting our foot in the door. Okay. And February really kicks that Aquarian energy off, right? By the end of February, I completely see new light matrices being completely installed in the earth. That means peace waves, you guys. That means freedom waves. That means liberation of old ways. It's really a time of rejuvenation and regeneration. I really see February overall, even though all the structuring is happening, I see February overall, it's going to be really like a road opener. It's going to be inspiring us to move forward. It's going to be inspiring us to keep making things happen. And gateways and opportunities will be opened up more, combating the reversal energy. And so I see a lot of forward momentum that will continue as we experience the 0 point field. Okay, because we are coming back to 0 point field. We are coming out of major planets that are going to be we're going to have no retrogrades. Okay, so it's like we're going to have some time to keep progressing, keep moving forward, and we're going to leap forward into the next stages of our journey. Many of us are doing that right now with the new architecture and grid templating that's running. So I just wanted to also, you guys, I wanted to discuss target locations for another boots on the ground location mission for summer solstice 2023, something that we are now structuring and organizing to do now. So I kind of wanted to lay down some of the pre-scouting grid templating foundation to the next grid worker location that we were thinking to put together and organize. So that is going to be Washington, D.C. And we are going to actually have a landing page that we're going to be putting up for it here in March. It's not till June, guys, but I'm just putting out the word because I feel like it's something to really start thinking about because it does require travel for many of us. I know for me, it will require a plane ride as well. So I think it's good to just always be tentatively kind of placing your intentions out and creating that organization that can make those things happen, can make the events happen. It is going to actually be a hosted event that I think we're going to do. We're going to try to do. We're in the beginning phases of babying and nurturing all of those plans, but it's going to be spectacular, I feel, if we can really do this and pull it off. And so I think a lot's going to continue to unfold as we continue to structure around it. I don't want to spill the beans like about what's gonna be going on and what exactly everything's gonna entail until I have everything really kind of locked in and it's for sure a go. And I'm smiling because it's just gonna be epic. The things that if we can make these things happen, it will be epic. But I also wanted to kind of start to formulate a list as well. So if you would be interested in going to Washington, D.C. to do a grid worker event, you can always email us at info@indigoangel222.com and we can put you on our waiting list. If you don't know much about Gridwork, I really suggest taking the Gridwork Facilitator course. Even if you don't want to become a facilitator, we cover everything intro to Gridwork to, facilitation. So I think it's a great course to put you on the fast track, high speed to understanding everything about Gridwork prior to going into a Gridworker event. That I'll leave the links in the description for that down below. And that way you guys can click on the link and, go check out the Gridworker course if you think that's something you would like to do. We do have 6 of the videos pre-recorded as well already. So you can already really dive in. You can already basically download the entire course. We just have one last ceremonial Gridworker session that we're going to do on February 22nd, 2023. But yeah, so getting back to the point here, we're going to really dive into Washington, D.C. today. I think it's really important for me to pre-scout the locations on many, many different levels. And it's a process of layering yourself into that information, right? We can only hold so much consciousness in our mind at one time simultaneously. So it's a level of integration and building it into you. And so I've selected this location for many reasons. And one is being that it is the next reversal connection point to the Vatican, which is a 5D reversal stargate. Like there are interconnecting reversal gateways. So I think that the Vatican 5D reversal stargate links into Washington, D.C., and they're kind of functioning off of the same frequencies or according frequencies that anchor in similar timelines and anchor in similar parallel realities and manifestation fields as well, which on some level, I feel I've been called at this time to really decode the functioning of these gate systems on a deeper level. Why is it a calling right now? I can't say for sure. I think I'm getting to the bottom of purification on a deeper level when it comes to global shadow or global darkness, so to speak, which I think it's an important thing to do if you have Indigo Type 3 and Indigo Type 1 mission templating. Okay, it's kind of a drive to get to the bottom of the collective shadow work as well, because you're forged as a polarity integrator. You're forged as a transmuter, someone who transforms the energy. And so as much as it mirrors your own personal life, it is also mirroring the collective, right? Like everything that we do on a personal level, like is healing and transmuting the collective. So it's like taking on challenges. It's taking on goals. It's taking on bigger projects. It's being sacrificial in a lot of ways as well, being kind of like the one that's saying, hey, I'm going to step forward, and not everybody has to do this. Not everybody wants to do this, and not everybody needs to serve this either. This is not for everybody. Okay. This is for brave hearts and brave souls for sure. But there is something very rewarding in it. There is something very, very rewarding in it. I learned from the last previous reversal stargate that I went to at the Vatican was that what is necessary for these big missions is that you go on a deep purification process, that you deeply do this before attending. This is necessary because reversal stargates, what they do is, and you don't realize it going into it until you've experienced one, but because yeah, the whole time you're questioning, what's it going to do, right? How is this going to respond in my field? What kind of reactions are going to happen? So what happens is that those reversal stargates, they amplify and they speed up everything that is in darkness, that is in the shadow, what is in the unconscious, what isn't being acknowledged, what isn't being accepted or worked through or overcame in many ways. And it shows you that where you think you have everything together, you actually might not. Okay, so what was bad might become worse, and what was hidden becomes extremely visible in your face and paralyzing. So what I think is necessary for the process of going into reversal stargates, and I talked about this in the Gridworker course, was that we need to have deeper levels of purification that we do before going to them. I'm talking a good 6 weeks of no sex, okay? No codependency, okay? Focus on detachment, focus on simplicity, no drugs, no alcohol, no negative thoughts, right? No stress, no anger, like really focusing on deep and rigorous focus on healing, addressing unresolved issues inside yourself. And I think it's important you do it for, like I said, a good 6 weeks, because if you don't do this before going to this reversal energy, the Stargate essentially is going to eat you up. It is going to eat you up because what's unwell is magnified. So in some sense, the reversal gates are, I think, some of the deepest clearings that we can have. It is performing a massive transformation within you, but it does not come easy. These aren't easy transformations. These aren't the transformations that are going to hold your hand and fluff you with the kindest of kindest energies. It's a massive stripping of what is impure within you. And it can really be revelational in many ways, kind of like an ayahuasca journey, like how it takes you into the depths, right? But this is, you don't need drugs to do this. This is like full on conscious, connected to society, connected to the energy, connected to the grid, connected to Mother Gaia, connected to the entirety of what we actually are as a species on some level. And so with big shadow reveals of the soul comes big transformation in your heart. That's what I think is the biggest thing about this. And so reversal coding simply means anti-life architecture. It means anti-life purpose, meaning, or that there's a lot of field spins that are in the direction of that within the vicinity, or it's tapped off an organic resource. It's tapped off or functioning by or powered by probably the strongest powerful natural resources that we have, energetically speaking and vortexually speaking. But in most cases, there have been, like I said, high level of tampering, high level of infiltration that has been done energetically to the land. In many cases, there has been alien technology, AI technology, or beast machinery, planetary branding. That's a huge one. I've talked about that for a while, like how they go in with iron rods and carve out geometric structures and implant as well into those organic gate systems. And the reversal energies at some of these sites can be so strong that they do disconnect humans completely from organic spiritual bodies and the earth and the source of the eternal living life. So they can cut that connection. Again, hence why taking that 6 weeks going into that gate prior to really dial yourself in, clean yourself up spiritually, is a necessity. It's a necessity. So you can be the anchor of that through that disconnection, which is really hard. It's really hard to hold that when you are immersed into disconnection. Okay, so some of these reversal stargates also hold the pin fabrics in the grids to major core world wounding on the earth as well. So you're also facing core world traumas that can mesh and convolute in your mind. And it's very hard to separate the difference between the encoding of trauma, fear bodies, what's collective, what's connected to the ley lines, what's connected to the major cities, but what's also connected to your Akash. And so again, yeah, doing Akashic clearings consistently throughout the process is often necessary. They just really emit low frequency energies. So they do run crucifixion, capital gain, corruption, persecution, Holocaust, genocide, artificial intelligence, architecture as well. So going to them is really about overcoming what hurts all of us the most, being a beacon of light through that, and reestablishing and connecting in as much organic spiritual templating as possible. And you have to fight through also a lot of major fallen and descended lineages, races, intruder spirits, okay, everything, gray invasion, gray technology. That's huge. That's one of the biggest things that I'm seeing right now going into Washington, D.C. I did somewhat of a pre-scout remote view with my team, and I mean, I feel that I got hit with some form of remote viewing, like repellent right away. Because as I was like just even tuning in, I was hit with a wave that disoriented me. So I know that they have technologies there to disengage any type of speculation into their field. So there is really a lot going on there. Really, really a lot going on there. So I'm gonna go to my map now, and I'm just gonna, we're gonna do some charting together. Hopefully you guys can still see me up in the corner. Okay, so, and also if you guys don't know what like an example of a reversal gate is, or reversal stargate is, and I know most of you who've been watching and following my journey know I've been talking about this, but if you're new to my channel and you don't know, Vatican Rome is a 5D reversal stargate. Washington, D.C., 5D reversal stargate. CERN, I think, is a 12th dimensional reversal. Metatronic AI gate. The Kaaba and Mecca, Saudi Arabia, 5D reversal stargate. Stonehenge is actually an AI reversal stargate. Okay, it is an undercover Nephilim hub that extends into the Force Breeder programs. A lot of the stones and Stonehenge have actually been replaced and they're artificial. And there's a lot more. Inishmore, Ireland, that's a 666 wormhole. Bermuda Triangle 666 wormhole. Statue of Liberty is a wormhole. Hollywood, California, Harvesting Gate Site, Silicon Valley, Man-Made Stargate. So I could keep going. The list is infinitely long. If you just go to the terms on IndigoAngel222.com, I have a list of them there already. But so we're going to focus on Washington, D.C. We're going to actually chart our map together today. And I thought this would be fun to do because I just enjoy charting. It's actually really fun and entertaining, I think, on some level. But it's also good to prepare your maps for your scouts, for your preparation work. And so Washington, D.C. is actually between Virginia and Maryland. It's our nation's capital. So let me just, I'll actually, we'll just locate it. Okay, I'm just going to put a marker there. Now you can see I've already started scouting some of the Masonic templating that's running here. And so I did already put this one in here. This one is upside down pentagram Masonic templating. Just save it. Okay, Washington, D.C. And now sometimes I like to go in and actually change my marker. I don't know if that's the one that I want to use. So sometimes I just do, maybe it's under standard. I'll just do these little push pins because I like to have color options. So for Washington, D.C., we'll just go with the red W maybe. That one works good. Now, Washington, D.C., this is one of the only cities in the entire world to have its own sovereignty from any particular state. Now, this is just like the Vatican, right? It seems to be a particular quality of a reversal templating. It's kind of like a policy of them or a contract of them of exclusion that applies to its signature. So they're excluded from things that the rest of the world has to deal with, such as particular laws or legalities. They're excluded from probably even taxes in some way. Like, it was basically built on a foundation to evade other things and make things more simple, right? For them, for their functioning, and not be like everything else, and to benefit from that, and to be exclusive, to be something that is very difficult to attain, essentially. It's also a central hub where contracts, deals, trades, policies, both galactic and earthly, apply. Covenants, business deals, monuments, buildings, historical landmarks. CIA headquarters is here. There's a lot of monarchy connections and seals. There's Roman connections and seals. Saturnian ring and black cube templating, highly Masonic. And also in this reversal energy, there's also millions and millions of tourists that visit in and out every year in Washington, D.C. That also does seem to be a quality of most reversal stargates, is that they are locations that draw in a massive amount of tourists. And it's because they are soul harvest and feed zones. Essentially, that's what it is. And so I realized that reversal stargates are the closest actually anyone can really get to the earth energetic vibration of a black hole. When you go to a reversal stargate, you're actually getting close to a black hole. That's the closest you're basically going to get to one. It's because these gate systems. Now, where is the gate system, you might ask, right? Because it's like we're looking at the entire city of Washington, D.C. here. If I had to guess, it's probably somewhere down here, in this area where we have more green, where we have this Masonic upside down pentagram actually pointing down to a circular area. Also pointing down to its natural resources, where it can tap off of that gate system and also use the natural resources. And so I think it's important thing to know is that cities with, all of this major wealth, all of this major power that runs through it, we're really going to be able to decode a lot of symbolism in the grid templating here. I probably won't be able to get through all of this in one video. I'm already, in the video quite a ways, and I've barely gotten to any of it. So this is something that I think will continually be stacked and built as more reveals itself. The symbolism is honestly what makes them so interesting, is the dynamic capitalization of that vortexual energy within the geometric architecture. So one thing about Washington, D.C. is that there is an incredible amount of, like I said, the Masonic templating, but that then tunes into the black magic templating, or the black magic etheric grid templating that's there. And if you want to know why, it's basically because the United States was founded by a secret society. Okay, United States, I think it's well known that George Washington was a very high-ranking Freemason, and so were his next successors, like the next 13, 14 successors. They were all also Freemasons. And so they say that the actual structure, the actual geosocietal architecture, was supervised in its building processes by Washington himself. Washington laid the first cornerstone for the Capitol building. And the Fraternal Order of Freemasonry is a secret society that's very well known for secret and hidden occultism. And so this is now indoctrinated down through major universities, the fraternity, the Freemason fraternity. This is where it comes from. Okay. I think we kind of covered a little bit of it with Harvard University. All the universities basically are what are keeping living order, or the decree in which our judicial and legal systems and medical systems all bind to. And so everything's leading back really through the universal, let's say university templating goes back to Washington, D.C. So you can see this giant inverted pentagram out of the city streets. It points to the leader of the Snakes of America, the Oval Office. So this is, as you tune in here, this is actually the White House here. And everything of this upside down pentacle is pointing to the leader, right? It's pointing to office. The pentagram runs through DuPont Circle to Mount Vernon Square to Pennsylvania Avenue to Logan Circle to the White House. Now, Pennsylvania Avenue actually opens up to a larger ley line network system that we're going to chart. And so now this upside down pentagram belongs to many things as well, besides just what we see here. There's also something called the Order of the Eastern Star. They're saying that this is who honors this upside down pentagram here. This was the largest fraternal order to which master masons and their female relatives may belong to, and the emblem of the order is a 5-pointed star with a white ray of the star pointing downwards towards the manger. So again, all of this pointing downwards to the Oval Office. And I'm also thinking that the inverted pentagram also could be a form of Solomonic magic, so King of Solomon or necromancy. So this is also a very popular thing in Freemasonry, that I think a lot of the occultic greater and lesser keys of Solomon actually came into Freemasonry. Like, they work with the magic spells of this. And so again, this is Metatronic. This is the pentagram symbolizing the fallen angel Lucifer, who is envisioned as the keeper of the Holy Grail in Freemasonry. So they see Lucifer as the keeper. And again, then this also stems down from the pharaonic bloodlines in the dark occult Egyptian magic as well. And but they will, the Freemasons will keep actually like a cup inside the pentagram, and meaning like the Holy Grail. But we know from, if you've seen the Da Vinci Code, or even just looked deeper into the Holy Blood, the Holy Grail, we know that that's actually truly the bloodline of Jesus and Mary Magdalene. That's actually what it is. But in addition to this layout here that you see, the entire city is really just inundated with arcane symbols and mythological designs that adorn both the inside and the outside of the government buildings. So that's like even just doing one grid worker mission there, like we're not going to be able to get to everything that's here. I mean, because it's inside and out. So it really is going to take, to really decode a network. And that's why things have to be done in phases. It takes a long time, but the entire city feels like it is really just constantly reflecting their agenda, their secret Freemasonic agenda. So the entire city is running encrypted with those secret geometric codes. And I can only imagine and anticipate that it feels very convoluted and very jarring to the consciousness field when you're in parameter of those arcane symbols in the buildings and outside of the buildings, that alone would be bringing in lower living forms, lower domain spirits that are coming through, imposter spirits, predatorial spirits, a lot of things that are kind of between worlds as well. I think that there's also a lot of Babylon timeline templating that connects in here as well. Babylonians use the pentagram symbol to symbolize Venus, which is dedicated to Ishtar. Okay, so I think that's also running here as well. Now, another thing I want to actually show you guys, I'm going to bring a picture up on the screen here. So this was something that was spotted by Fibonacci from the Gridworker course. And I just want to say thank you so much for bringing this up, because it was absolutely excellent. An excellent spotting of this. I just want you to look at this picture really quick here. So what's being seen here is that this entire White House area is like a hive. Okay, so the White House is like a queen bee. Some were seeing that she is actually turned upside down and she is in some form of enslavement to the system, that something is being like hijacked, something is being imprisoned against the will, maybe like a royal bloodline. It also can tie into a hive net as well. So if we have a hive here at Washington, D.C., then there might also be a hive netting that expands across the grid. Now, I've been seeing all kinds of stuff in the grid. I've been seeing snakes, a lot of snakes. Like, this is a brotherhood, a cultic brotherhood of snake, like what runs here. It is, especially anything that's connected to wasp and bees, is often also affiliated to serpent. There's a lot of connection with that. But this net, I feel, is also having to do with 5G. It's having to do with the telecom satellites, that it's working as a base organism and source of AI and AI machinery. Again, creating a hive or a buzz around a hive or a collective consciousness towards AI controlled group thinking. Okay, so they can control group thinking here. This is why this place, going in as a grid worker, again, that purification process, you guys, I could not stress that enough, because this is, there's going to be a lot coming through the sine waves or the mind fields that are wanting to control the group thinking, wanting to control the human brains to the internet, wanting to connect into a brain net or a hive net. And this is a real functioning system that they have. This is actually running through grid computation. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's another layer of computerized grid computation surveillance services and tracking services. So this is real deep. This is facial recognition. I mean, we've known all of this was coming, but this is kind of like at the apex of where it is located. And so they're going to have artificial intelligence systems. That's why I got hit with that coming into this. I got disoriented, guys, really disoriented. It means that there's just a lot of human consciousness enslavement. There's probably a human consciousness enslavement egregore that's within completely the field of Washington, D.C. I mean, we could probably go around just unplugging billions and millions of people from that egregore, just spiritually, energetically, as part of the mission, as a part of the recon. And essentially that, it's all in the purposes of controlling the timelines. So a lot of targeted individuals, the first waves of humans being secretly experimented on. So a lot of people are being secretly experimented on. A lot of this is coming also through their SRA methods as well. So their satanic ritual abuse, which we see all of that playing out in Hollywood. Again, like Madonna, the things that Madonna's doing, the outfit that Doja Cat wore with the blood red, sparkling red diamonds. Okay, those are all like imagery of child pedophilia that's coming through. And so that's also headed here as intelligent agencies through like the mind control programming. So yeah, a lot's just being subjugated here. Like, this is so full of infiltration on so many levels. But yeah, let's look down now at this wasp here. So I know you guys just saw the picture. Now I want to just actually kind of chart it out myself, just to see if we can really kind of paint the picture of, I'm going to try to get it more center. Okay, so we have kind of like the abdomen of the wasp. Now let's go in and change that, because I want this to be a different color. Maybe we'll do yellow. And I don't know, but yellow just seems because of bees, wasps. And then we have kind of like the thorax. Okay, we have to change color every time here. And then we have the head of the wasp. Now I'm just charting over it to make it stand out, essentially. But then what we also have here is we have the antenna of the wasps. Okay, and then down below, we actually even have a stinger. We have a stinger, this is what was pointed out to me, that is going into Constitution Avenue. Now, that is really something to symbolically break down. I'll tell you what, and I feel like that's coming. What does it mean to have a stinger in the Constitution? I think that's something I've really also been evaluating within my own morals and value system. What's been coming up lately to me is if the current Constitution that we have is even what's needed, if it is to be continually protected, if it's not something that will eventually be replaced by a new age belief structure at some point. I've been seeing that a lot in the timelines. I've been seeing like a lot of new age earther people coming in and fighting for new constitutional rights. It's a hornet's nest in the way that it's protected. It's a hornet's nest in that if you poke the bee's nest, if you poke the hive, okay, you will be attacked like a wasp storm, right? Like a full-on hive frenzy that will come after you. So I think it's kind of like an indicator of what fields of consciousness are connected to the Constitution, which is really a grimy, kind of a nasty vibe. And then what I also think is running here is I also think that, and I'll just do my line tool here, that we have within the boundaries and the perimeters of the hive, we have an opening or a gateway through the grounds into the organic honeycomb templating. I did a big update on the original core holographic structures of TIAMAT. Okay, the TIAMAT grid, the hexagonal honeycomb matrix 5D. Now, this is an organic matrix, holographic earth matrix. That's the original core templating to the TIAMAT energy, to TIAMAT's living consciousness. Again, links will be down in the description. I highly recommend you go and watch this video that I did. You might even have to fast forward because my videos are long, guys. You know how I do. But once you get to the good part where I'm explaining and defining that honeycomb matrix, you'll be like, oh my gosh, this makes sense. You'll be like, this could be a place where this is a direct access point here in the ground into that honeycomb grid templating. And if that's the case, that would definitely confirm that this is a 5D reversal Stargate, right? Because reversal Stargates are all about hijacking. They're all about siphoning the energy. They're all about tapping off the resource of the energy and funneling into something that is anti-life architecture, funneling it into something that doesn't serve the highest good of all people, the planet, basically, life itself. And so I think what they've done is they've ran some form of a hive net over the top of it. And it's some form of, again, siphoning, but also refraction as well. Now, what I'm also seeing here as well, when I really had time to like sit with this a little bit more, is that what I think the mission is going into this, so like doing an actual Washington, D.C. boots on the ground grid worker location mission would be to actually activate the Queen's Chamber. That's what we would be doing. We'd be going in and activating the essence of the Queen Bee, activating the essence of igniting the power of the hive queen, because if what is being seen here is that she truly is flipped upside down on her back and being fed off of, then we would want to re-empower that queen energy to restore nature, to restore organisms, to restore honey, to restore what's organic. I keep getting the words honey. I've been getting the words honey a lot. I looked it up and it said that honey is eternal consciousness, or it carries a lifespan of at least 3,000 years. Like it doesn't ever like bacterialize, it doesn't ever decay, and it can live for 3,000 years if you jar it. And so honey actually is like an eternal life liquid. And so you can see why they would be after honey. If this ground, this grid emission produces the energetic form of honey, okay, you can see why there's a swarm, why there's a buzz in Washington, D.C. I think that this is a direct portal link, though, into the honeycomb hexagonal matrix, which ultimately would also be an original heart core templating, okay, of the original mother planetary brain complex. That means Washington, D.C., right here in Maryland, this is a heart center. This is a heart chakra. How I can kind of even further confirm that on some level is that I think that there are 3 main ley lines that are running through the United States. So I'm just going to chart a couple of things really quick here so I can put these ley lines in. I'm going to look for the Devil's Tower in Wyoming. Okay, let's go ahead and mark that. Let's change that marker to something. Diamond. Aqua. I think that's really the codes it brings in. It brings in some aqua diamond codes. Okay, so the first ley line actually runs through Devil's Tower. So now that we have that marker point, that one is at 44 degrees parallel. And you can't even make that up, 44 degrees, right? We got our line tool, so let's go ahead and map that. We'll just kind of, now this isn't going to be perfect, you guys. This is like, again, pre-charting of this energy just to kind of get a rough idea where things are. So this is the first main ley line that is running through. The second one is going through Washington, D.C. So this is at the 38-degree parallel. So if we get our line tool here, we can chart this one up. And let's see, this one's about at the 38. And if you want to know where I'm getting this information from, it's Ley Lines of the U.K. and U.S.A. by David R. Cowan with Anne C. Silk, how ley lines were used by the church, royalty, city planners, and the Freemasons. So this is a really good book, guys. If you can see it in the picture here, I'll put it down in the description. I'm just referencing this one for locations of ley lines and the degree systems, but everything is listed here in this book. There's a picture of the ley line here, page 54. Okay. And what it's saying is that the next one is down by the Bermuda. That's actually the Bermuda. Now, I want to see something really quick here. Bermuda Triangle. So just Bermuda. See where that's at. Back it out of it real quick. Okay, it's not that one. It's definitely not that one. I got that one wrong. So the next one sits like on Monroe, Louisiana. I'm really not far from the 33rd parallel myself. So let me put that marker in and back out and see where we are at. Yes, because I'm down here. So yeah, this is really where the 33rd parallel runs. Now, this is one of the most active ley lines in the world. This is where most stargates ride on across the earth. And we're just focusing on the United States right now, so we're not going to like push these lines out across the world or anything. So you can see that, but you can see how my lines are pretty even here. Okay, so what kind of confirms that heart essence or heart chakra energy to me is that Washington, D.C. is sitting on really the center ley line of the United States. Even though it is far east, the energy still runs and transmits through those ley lines. I think another thing that also leads me into the heart consciousness energy Washington, D.C. might be carrying, again, the organic part of it. I think that there is a lot around how the entire world really watches American politics, kind of like a soap opera, like a drama. Like everyone all over the world knows what's going on in American politics. Like they follow our presidential elections and they're invested in it as if they you know, I mean, it's on the stage, it's on the world stage. And not only our politics, but the movies, the entertainment, idolizing of celebrities, okay, all around the world. And I've even had a lot of friends who have told me that the reason that they've learned English in their life that are from other countries is because they watched American movies. They followed American politics. And so I think that that also is really at the heart core of the world and why it tugs so much on the rest of the world. American military basically is involved in militarization all over the world, wars, everything. So everything really always comes back to this point at the heart center, right? And so I think that's why, again, having that that heart chakra energy here. Another thing that I wanted to look at within Washington, D.C. is also, I think it's really important to find the Washington Monument. Washington Monument. Let's see. It's right there within proximity to the hive, right? Let's go ahead and change this one. We're going to change it to this one. We'll do a square because that's probably rigid energies. We know it's rigid energies. Let's see. We're going to change this Monroe one too as well. We'll do this one as, we'll do it as a red M for Monroe. And then Bermuda Triangle, we'll just remove it from the board. Okay, so this one, this is where the Washington Monument is. Now, when you guys look at this, what do you see? Because there's something there to me that is obviously there. Okay, so what I see running here is a Vesica Pisces. There's a Vesica Pisces running at the Washington Monument. This is two circles that are intersecting in the same radius. And the Freemasons use the Vesica Pisces a lot in rituals, so I can see why they would have designed it this way. This is definitely a ritualized center area that if we're doing grid work or mission, this will definitely be a location to work with. But this is blatantly sexual ritualization of the grid here. This is to dominate. This is to insert into the female energy holding power because the Vesica Pisces are geometric templating to the female vaginal body parts. So what they're placing in that is ball shaft. It is the phalanx. It is the penis, right? So it's going into the vagina. They're sexualizing that. The Washington Monument is a tall penis nesting comfortably in a giant symbol vagina, basically. I mean, now that you have the bird's eye view of that, you can really clearly see it. And this is what planetary branding is, you guys. A lot of times we don't realize it. Freemasons, right? They're smart builders. This is what they do. They build. They know how to build according to energetic code, which means underneath this is what appears to be cement. They probably have laid iron rods that come together and form that energy into the ground. Okay, so this is like a form of branding the planet, opening up vortex and portals, and transmitting what you want to ritualize through that center of it. So these Masons knew exactly what they were creating, guys. I think they were attempting to convey a sexual union of gods. Okay, because now at the United Snakes Capitol building, there's also Masonic square and compass. So let's just kind of zoom out of that really quick for a second. Let's find where the Capitol building is. And this is real crazy what I'm about to show you guys. Let's change this to a C for capital. All right. Yes. So I want you guys to just look at this for just a second. Tell me if there's anything you see here. Tell me what you see. Tell me if you see it. If you know free Masonic symbols. Okay, there's actually a square and a compass there that is supposed to have a reflecting pool that connects into a ley line that's running down Pennsylvania Avenue to the Devil's Tower. Oh my gosh. I just feel like all this indigenous energy coming through my heart. It's like, yes, this is right. There is secret hidden underground tunnels here that extend out around this. This is an area where a lot's really going on. So if you can't see it yet, I'll just go ahead and draw it, and my line tool is going to be blue, but I'll change the color. But basically this is where it is. It's like here, and it goes here, and I'll just change this. So I'm just going to actually like attempt to draw this, but it's supposed to come up like this. And my drawing might not be that good, actually. But I'm trying, okay? But yeah, it's kind of like this. And that would be like the Masonic symbol. Let me turn this one a different color so maybe you can see it better. Okay. So this is the compass here. And what this is, and what they've said this is a reflecting pool. That is reflecting energies back towards them. Like it's like a trap, like it's to continue to feed off of their resources, basically. But essentially what that connects into is a major ley line that's actually running down from the Devil's Tower. So I'm actually going to pull out a little bit here. We're going to locate the Devil's Tower. I think I already plugged it in. I did. Okay, so it would be really difficult to draw that line, but because it's so far out. But basically there's a ley line that's coming down over here, and it is going into that reflecting pool. So they're drawing off of that energy there, which my line was way off, but it would be coming down. Okay, and it would be coming into that reflecting pool. So basically that's the ley lines coming down, and it runs into the reflecting pool at the Capitol. So this is what I have found to be, I think, from just taking a first deep dive of Washington, D.C., everything that's really starting to come up to me. Now, I know that that ley line reflects into the reflecting pool and bounces off and goes back into the United States, so that they're trying to channel and plug and funnel energies from the Devil's Tower. It also runs through Bear Butte, George Washington statue, and then back through the Washington Monument and Lincoln Memorial. And so they're like it's a way of funneling and keeping that energy all together there. So I think what we'll have to do is spend more time deep diving on this. You know how it goes. But yeah, there is so much here in Washington, D.C. And I think there's a lot of hidden technology that we could decode. And there's a lot on a spiritual level that I think could be worked on. Again, this is so deep. There's so many levels. There's so many layers to this. It ties into so many things worldwide that it really is something that will take time to manifest itself as divine timing allows, right? Because everything has to be done in divine timing when things are ready to come forward, when things are ready to. So yeah, guys, we'll keep working on this. Thanks for watching this Cosmic Grid update today. And I do have my new Starseed activator commercial that I got. So check this commercial out, you guys. It's so fun. It's so pretty.
Do you want to elevate your spiritual cosmic journey by deepening your connection to your starseed origins? Introducing Starseed Activators by IndigoAngel, a unique blend of organic essential oils, expertly created to enhance your spiritual experience through the transformative power of fragrance. Starseed Activators' journey began over 3 years ago when a new perspective of spiritual realization was born. So we mixed sacred oils with unique fragrances and ultimately succeeded to achieve the secret to starseed origin. Our premium oils are Syrian-infused and charged with lapis lazuli and turquoise crystals, lime, eucalyptus, rosemary, and lavender. Pleiadian-infused and charged with Lemurian quartz crystals, rose and patchouli oil. Lyran-infused and charged with carnelian and clear quartz crystals, frankincense, myrrh, and sea salt. Arcturian-infused and charged with citrine yellow quartz crystals, orange, sage, and lemongrass. Orion-infused and charged with obsidian crystals, cassia, clove, nutmeg, and fir. And Andromeda-infused and charged with amethyst crystals, aquatic, and lilac. Each of these is a unique blend of essential oils and specific crystals attuned to the corresponding star system, boosting their natural elixirs. Use our Starseed Activators during your meditation sessions to access new realms of consciousness and unlock your deepest knowing. Let's start your spiritual cosmic journey with Starseed Activators.